Important topic. The premier of Greenland and the premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon after that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish prime minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously when he says it wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War." Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now, so I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United States,
but your wife posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation.
No,
that's why it's newly relevant.
No, I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration, that Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland is off the table?
It wouldn't be military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim? What is their basis of having Greenland as a colony of Denmark? The United States is the power of NATO. For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so that's a conversation that we're going to have as a country. That's a process we're going to have as a community of nations.
So you can't take it off the table that the U.S. would use military force to seize Greenland. You can't take it off the table.
Jake, I understand you're trying very hard to, which again, is your job. I respect it. It's great to get exactly the headline, right? That catchy headline.
I'm trying to get an answer to the question.
That says Miller refuses to rule out. The United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 13 to 18. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and I have this article here, which through the Spirit, just reading through it, I was like, man, this is basically, it just kicked the door down. All right, if this actually happens, which it will happen, all right, it's going to kick the door down. All right, but when you see what happened with the whole Venezuela situation, and now Nero 47, all right, is now threatening the whole pretty much Western hemisphere, talking about the Don Roll doctrine. right? A spin off the Monroe Doctrine, which basically, well, as it says, is a doctrine, all right, that America's power, all right, stems pretty much all over the West, all right, North America, South America, Central America, all right, America owns all that and has power and jurisdiction over all that. So therefore, there should be and cannot be any Eastern interference. Like the West is our shit type shit, you know? Once you cross the Atlantic, we taking over. So back up, you know? So the Atlantic is pretty much the divider, all right? And north of it is where you have the woman that sitteth on many waters, okay? So through the Spirit, the Lord has put this guy in power, all right, DJ Trump, all right, to fulfill, all right, the end of this system, okay? Because we see it, man. Everything that's been prophesied is all lining up. All right, so let's read this real quick. It says Denmark demands that Trump stops threatening Greenland. All right, it says Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has told Washington to stop threatening Greenland. Greenland is an autonomous territory within Denmark. All right, so then it makes it semi-autonomous. All right, it says President Donald Trump has suggested that Copenhagen cannot properly manage and protect the island from Russian and Chinese threats. Okay, so now he's making it known, right, as the scripture says, that his look was more stout than his fellows, right? Here it is, you know, your fellows, meaning those that are in agreement with you, those that are in confederate with you, all right? You know, they do it through things like NATO, right, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, okay? So then you become a partner, basically, all right? A wartime partner, if you will. And then, of course, you have the economic part as well, all right? But you have North America, which is consisting of United States and Canada, okay, in allegiance with most of the European nations, all right, to form NATO. And Denmark is a part of NATO, hence making Greenland a semi-part of NATO, right? Or in this case, full-blown part, because Article 5 of NATO says that if, as a matter of fact, you know, let's pull it up so we can get the actual. Let me see if I can pull this up here, right? Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty is the cornerstone of NATO's collective defense principle, stating that an armed attack against one or more of the member states in Europe or North America shall be considered an attack against them all. Okay? So you notice Latin America is not part of it because Northern Kingdom predominantly is dwelling over there. Okay? Esau then pushed Jake all the way off the land, and Jake took over the Central and Latin American countries. So they're not part of NATO. Okay? So that's why DJ Trump could do what he did to Venezuela and not threatening to go to Colombia and Mexico and basically the whole Western Hemisphere, man. Right? Hence, who shall make war against the beast? All right? That's that Revelation 13. We're going to get that. All right? But they're just going around just claiming land and claiming resources, you know, and that's all what is breaking trust among these nations that are, you know, in league and confederate with America. All right, Greenland is dead ass just like, yo, listen, man, you done broke the trust. You tried it back in 2019, all right? You know, things got shaky, but we kind of worked things out a little bit. But this right here, nah, you just broke the trust 100%. Like, we can't trust America. You see? So they're going to start plotting and scheming against America. So it says here, this provision obligates each member to assist the attacked ally by taking such action as it deems necessary, including the use of armed force, to restore and maintain the security of the North Atlantic area. Okay? It says the article is consistent with Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, which recognizes the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense. So Venezuela has the right to defend themselves, even though they're not part of NATO. It's part of the UN Charter. All right, the UN's the United Nations Charter, all right, Article 51. Okay. It says Article 5 has been invoked only once in NATO's history following the September 11 blah blah attack on the United States. Right. So it's been invoked only once. All right. But we'll see. All right. So let's go back to the article. It says here, President Donald Trump has suggested that Copenhagen cannot properly manage and protect the island from Russian and Chinese threats. Trump says taking control of the island is a matter of national security for Washington. All right, and I mentioned some time ago that this whole Greenland thing is more of like the elites are coveting that land. All right, they're coveting that land because of the vantage point. All right, apparently there's some resources there as well. So all of a sudden, these devils is finding resources all over the earth, and they're starting to get crazy. You know, this whole AI thing just, I guess, it then opened up some shit that's showing them all kinds of hidden things in the earth now. You know, different gems, and now they're going crazy. Like, yo, we need more of this. We need power of this. Let's go over to Greenland. You know what I'm saying? Let's start building our nice little elite type cities out there. Larry Ellison want to be over there building his own empire. Sam Altman want to come over there and build his own empire. You know what I'm saying? All these nasty ass rich elites want to be over there and build their own empire. And they're the ones pulling the strings behind closed doors, because they're ruled by the ultimate elites behind closed doors. Okay? And they run it down through corporations and, you know, banking and all that little crazy shit. Politics, all that. Okay? But it goes normally through the finance. All right, so let's go back to this. It says here, he told the Atlantic on Sunday, we do need Greenland, absolutely. We need it for defense. Like, what you mean you need it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we're just going to claim shit. Just going to grab this up. Yeah, we need this. It's good for us. We're going to take it. Oh, Venezuela got oil and gold and resources. Wow. Hey, well, I guess they stole our oil. They stole our resources. We need to go take it back. That's what Hexeth is saying. That we need to bring back the oil that they stole from us. I'm like, what is this delusion? Delusion of grandeur, right? It's sick. Absolute sickness. All right, and it's all, hey, the last days, the Lord is exposing this devil. Now, he's not even seeing it. Let me see if I can, there you go. All right. So it says here, is that we need it for defense, noting that it was up to others to decide the wider implications of U.S. military action in Venezuela. RT reports in response, Frederickson said the U.S. has no right to annex any of the three countries in the Danish kingdom, point blank, period. All right. It says, I will therefore strongly urge the U.S. to stop the threats against a historically close ally and against another country and another people who have very clearly said that they are not for sale, she told the media. Right? So that's their what is it? Their prime minister, okay, met Frederickson. So she let it be known straight up, like, listen, man, we're not going to take these threats lightly. All right, you done broke the trust. You know what I mean? You're moving mad reckless right now. So we're not even trying to hear what you're trying to say, bro. You said this shit back in 2019 that you want to get Greenland and all that. We're kind of like, yo, what's up? We laughed about it. We let it go. You came right back again. This time you talking about, listen, you next. What you mean? We told you we're not for sale. Leave it alone. Trump first proposed buying Greenland. There you go. Buying Greenland in 2019, a plan swiftly rejected by Copenhagen and Greenland's authorities. Since returning to office last year, he has revived the idea, even hinting at the possible use of force. See, and that right there is going to destroy Article 5. That's going to be in violation. You're NATO attacking another NATO country. Oh, right. That could go down a very, very deadly dark path quickly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It says, Denmark has responded by strengthening Arctic defenses and expanding military and civilian monitoring viewing the pressure as a direct threat to its sovereignty. Wow. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. It says ally. This is an ally that America is doing all this against, right? And you know why that is? Let's get that real quick. Book of Daniel. Pull it up. Daniel 7. Is the book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 20 says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And that's referring to who? America. Okay. The look that was more stout than his fellows. When you go into the word, let me go into a few words here real quick. All right. It says look, right? Vision, appearance. All right. So just the way America is all structured. All right. The way America is viewed. Okay. Even amongst these other nations, America is looked at as, you know, the place to be, right? The number one. Oh, this country is the greatest military power on the earth. You know, oh, this country has the biggest economy on the earth. You know, shit like that. You know. So it says the look was very great things, speak very great things, right? Whose look was more stout than his fellows. Go to that word stout. All right. Get a few words in the word stout. Let's see if I can pull it up here. There you go. The word stout. All right. It says here, it says valiant, brave, proud, haughty, skilled in battle, right? America is the best military, and we have the greatest force. You know, it's the SEAL 6 team and all this extra shit, right? Fierce, cruel, okay? Brave, fierce, proud. All right, proud, man. America is that country that's proud, all right? And the leader of the country is showing you, all right, what America is all about. Okay, we just go and grab shit up. We just go. You know, then it's showing you again. The Lord is using Trump to show how America has always been. This is the true identity of America, right? When the scripture describes the daughter of Babylon and just the way she behaves, look at Trump. Okay, he represents the country. He is the image of the country. So his spirit is how the country has always been. He's a racist, all right? He's not a Bible believing so-called Christian. Okay, he's a Satanist. All right, he's a Mason. Okay, he engages in high-level satanic rituals. All right, goes to the concepts of MAGA and so on and so forth. So we know he on the left-hand side. He believes in the Talmudism and all that shit. Okay, so that's a problem right there. All right, and the dude is proud as hell, man. Okay, he's proud, and he doesn't. He said it. He said, you know, the chance of him even going to heaven, he doesn't even think is even going to happen. So why bother, right? Shit, you know what I'm saying? That's a high-level demon for you, okay? But yeah, so whose look is more stout than his fellows, all right? He has a proud look, all right? He thinks he's better than everybody else on this earth. Therefore, he can just do whatever the hell he wants to do, you know? Oh, it's good for national security in Washington. What you mean by that? Somebody's sovereign land, you're just going to take it and talk about it's good for your security? What does that even mean? Right? And the fellows are the ones who are an associate, companion, all right, companionship, right, through these treaties. Okay? Like I mentioned before, NATO, right? Another one is called the Berlin Plus. All right, and let me look up a little bit about that as well, right? It says the Berlin Plus arrangements established in December 2002 and formalized in March 2003, right? And it's a formalized cooperation between NATO and the European Union. All right, so again, going into the fellows are those that are in companionship or in allegiance or in / treaties with America. Okay, it's predominantly NATO, America with European nation countries. All right, the EU. All right, and it goes into what? It allows the EU to access NATO's planning capabilities and certain collective assets for its own military operations under specific conditions. This framework was further developed through a series of joint declarations. The first was signed in July 2016 in Warsaw, the second in July 2018 in Brussels, and the most recent in January 2023 at NATO headquarters, which I believe is NATO headquarters would be DC. All right. Let me see. Just look that up. Make sure we confirm that. Is it? Was it Belgium? Make sure. Okay. Oh, hold up. Yeah, I knew it was kind of funny in my head when I said that. Let's read this. It says the NATO headquarters is the political and administrative center of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. After previous locations in London and Paris, which is the UK and Paris, France, it has been headquartered in Brussels, which will be Belgium, since 1967 in a complex in Haren, part of the city of Brussels, along the Boulevard Leopold, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Brussels. Okay. Yep. All right. So, yeah. So let's go back to the article here. Just a little bit more left on that, so let's finish it. It says, Trump says, we need Greenland from the standpoint of national security, and the European Union needs it, or needs us to have it. And they know it, he stated, adding, let's talk about Greenland in 20 days. His tensions over Greenland have continued to rise in recent weeks. In December, Trump appointed Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, who has openly backed incorporating Greenland into the U.S., as a special envoy to the autonomous territory, prompting Copenhagen to summon the U.S. ambassador for an explanation. All right, what do you mean by this? All right, so again, their trust. All right, this is all leading to Revelation 17, which we read earlier, about the beast hating the whore, all right, and eating her flesh and burning her with fire. Okay, that's all going into what these kinds of things is what leads to that. All right, so again, the door has been kicked down because multiple prophecies are lined up to just kick off, just because of just this alone. All right, it just speed things up. All right, speeding things up, man. Things that was thought of as unforeseeable even just 10 years ago is now in the realm of possibility with just 1 day or 2 days. Like this nigga Trump is, and Rubio said it. He came out and said it. He's like, yo, man, our president is a man of actions. He's not just all talk. He be doing what he's saying. See, so you people need to start getting, he's like, I'm surprised. Like, why are you guys still in shock that these things are happening? If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. So what's the problem here? So it's like, yo, he's letting it be known. Like, yo, listen, I'm the president of action type. So these countries are seeing these things and they're like, yo, if he could do this to Venezuela, then, what I'm saying, like, what's going to stop this motherfucker from coming after anybody else whenever he wants, right? So they're asking for an explanation. It says, after the U.S. launched a controversial military operation in Venezuela on Sunday, a former Trump administration official, Katie Miller, suggested in a cryptic social media post that Washington will soon take over Greenland. All right, and I believe Katie Miller is the wife of that Miller dude. Shit, I think they might try to make him the overseer of the whole Venezuela stuff. That'd be funny. All right, what's his name? Stephen Miller, right? That devil, man. Yeah, he got a whole high level demon. All right, but again, man, this is literally all right. The times of prophecy, man. All right, let's get this in the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Just wait for this thing to load up. Revelation 13 and 4. All right, it says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? Okay, so that beast, all right, is what? NATO and the EU. Okay, and right now, as it stands, what country is going to be able to jump up and just say, hey, I mean, you have the superpowers like Russia, China, right? Just to name those two. All right, but you have so many other countries that are like, hey, listen, we're here too, man. We got missiles out here too. We could do some major damage, right? We might not be able to do as much damage as maybe America per se. You know what I'm saying? But we could still do some work. But if you do it in a collaborative effort, you could do major damage. That's how it's going to happen. That's why the Lord is setting up World War III. Okay, that whole land, that whole part of that whole thing they got going on over there, so-called Greater Israel Project, that whole land is about to get torched. That whole space is about to get torched, get cleansed out. All right, before it gets rebuilt up again. All right, that whole place is about to get tore up, man. All right, and then of course America's gonna get her shit too. Okay, but yeah, you have that going on. All right, who's gonna make war against the beast, man? Who? All right, and ultimately those NATO treaties and alliances is what protects these countries from ultimately America attacking them. But with Trump, you just never know. See, and again, this is what's going to sever the ties, all right, between America, or the relationships between America and these various European nations, man. Right? I heard the UK is being pressed. Keir Starmer is being pressed to basically denounce what Trump did in Venezuela, the whole Venezuela situation. All right, so he's like under pressure right now. People are like, yo, you need to come out and denounce that shit straight up, man. So that's going to also send, ripple effects through the economy. All right, again, these things, major geopolitical things affect domestic things as well. Oil is involved, money, gold is involved, Yeah, man, real life stuff is happening. Prophecy. All right, prophecy, man. Ultimately, the Lord is getting ready to take this motherfucker out. All right, this is all part of America's end. We've seen it. We've seen it all playing out. All right, we've seen it all playing out, man. It's the book of Obadiah. All right, verse 6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? Are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That it says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And why is that? Because look, they fed up with your shit. They're tired of your shit. All right? They're tired of your shit. All these countries that are in league with you, they keep questioning like, yo, what's up with you and your relationship with Israel, number one? All right? Why you always like backing them when they're doing all the most craziest shit and talking the wildest shit? You out here backing them. What's going on? Right? You pulling chairs out for Bibi to sit on where he's in other countries regarded as a war criminal. Like, what's going on? What's going on, America? And then you turn around and go kidnap a whole president of Venezuela and turn around and say, oh, yeah, we're doing it judiciously. We're going to put somebody... What you mean? What you mean, bro? What you mean? It's the hypocrisy of this devil, man. Again, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. All right? It says, verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And that's why you're seeing all the things that's going on. All right? There are no wise men. Right? There are no men of wisdom, all right, within his cabinet, all right, within the governing bodies of the world anymore. There was a time where, men would come to the table to agree to say, hey, listen, man, the way things are going, let's just do this or do that to avoid this and that because it's going to hurt both of us. You see, nowadays, this nigga Hegseth, he's not a wise man, right? He's not going to give no wise counsel. Trump ain't got nobody on his side to pull him back and be like, hey, listen, if you do this, this is what's going to happen and da-da-da-da-da. It's better we don't do it this way. If anything, just wait. Let's negotiate something. Let's do it that way. You got clowns like Stephen Miller who's talking about the president has, what he said? Something domain. You know what I'm saying? Something, it starts with a P, right? It's going to come to me. But he has that domain, meaning he has planetary, or planetary as the word, right? Planetary powers. You see? Right? He got planetary powers, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 whatever. I said, what? Right? You got a nigga like that, you know, talking all kinds of crazy shit. You know, we're going to take over Greenland. The president has been talking about this for a long, long time. So people shouldn't be surprised. He's been saying it and he's going to do it. Like, nigga, what are you saying, bro? You're not wise. You can't say no shit like that. You see? Pam Bondi. Well, we got the Epstein files. It's just a whole bunch of demons that's populating the ruling class right now. Okay? And the people still can't see it. Well, a lot of them are waking up now, but they ain't gonna do shit about it. Man, there's nothing they can do about it. All right, it's too late. The game is over with. All right, it's over with. Okay, it says, verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. And it says, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau be cut off by slaughter. All right, you niggas is creating your own destruction, and you just thinking, oh, it's just another way to make more money. You know, we're gonna sever ties amongst ourselves, right? We're gonna build tension amongst ourselves. We're gonna break trust, right? And it's all in the name of what? Money, power. It's over with, man. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? So your war that you made against the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, all right, and everything that you continue to do, all right, as it's written in the book of Jeremiah, that says what? That says both the children of Israel and Judah will press together. All right? You held us captives and you wouldn't let us go. Okay? So the Lord is going to destroy America, all right, for those two things: your blasphemy against the Heavenly Father, and your complete disrespect, all right, to His children, His chosen ones, the holy ones of Israel, all right, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, the children of Israel, all right, who make the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right. How you treated them, how you treated us, all right. The Lord is not happy about that, all right. And all throughout the scriptures, He talks about that judgment that's going to be happening because of the treatment or the mistreatment, all right, of the children of Israel. Though it was our punishment, yes. But yo, you devils took it way too far, man. All right, you took it way too far, and look what you're doing right now. All right, look what you're doing right now. So get ready, man. This place is about to be getting tore up. All right, this place is about to get tore up, man. It's about to be disgusting. You're going to see in the American streets, it's about to get, yo, man. It's exciting times that's ahead, man. And it's all because of your president. All right, it's all because of your president, man. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 23 says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Okay? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, all right, which is referring to America. All right, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord. Right, and you also strove against the Heavenly Father and His Son and His prophets. Okay, and ultimately your last attempt is going to be via physical war, physical altercation, as is described in the book of Revelation. All right, the 7th chapter, and also in the book of Revelation, I believe the 12th chapter. All right, the war in heaven. All right, let's see if we can get that real quick. All right, Revelation 12 and 7, it says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, right? So the heavenly realm against this earthly realm. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? All right, we've been told you that this game is rigged. We've been told you that, but you see your pride, all right? You have to fulfill prophecy, but your pride, man, it makes it even much more sweeter. That's why this devil is moving the way he's moving right now, right? He's just openly just being rebellious, a demon. Okay? Cruel. All right? You're going to have dominion over the earth. So now we see how he's moving. Now we telling him, no, we about to take over this whole thing. Right? We're going to possess our possessions as is written. We're going to take back everything, man. All right? So telling him that to him, that's a threat. But we're telling you exactly what the prophecies say, which you know. So building AI to try to avoid it is not going to work. All right? So continuing with Jeremiah 50 and 25, it says, the Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, so yes, the weapons that the Lord is going to vent with, all right, is going to be through what? Through those thermonuclear destruction missiles, ICBMs, and so on and so forth. All right, America's done. Right, and the more Trump moves the way he's moving, the more enemies that's going to be aiming their missiles towards America, who were previously allies, but are definitely going to turn against America. All right. So yeah, man, just this alone just kicked the door, all right, all the way down. All right, we're going to see how things play out from here. Today's January 6th, too, by the way. 01/06/26. Anyway, I'm going to end it off there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash, the water Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.
It's about peace on earth.
How is it peace on earth?
Peace on earth.
By-
We got to have peace. It's our hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine was very important when it was done, and other presidents, a lot of them, they lost sight of it. I didn't lose sight. But it really is, it's peace on earth.